Anubis was one of the most important gods in ancient Egyptian mythology. He was the god of death and the afterlife, and was often depicted as a jackal-headed figure. One true story about Anubis involves a group of archaeologists who were excavating a tomb in Egypt. The tomb was believed to belong to a high-ranking official from the New Kingdom period, and the archaeologists were excited to uncover its secrets. As they began to explore the tomb, they noticed that there were several depictions of Anubis throughout the burial chamber. One of the archaeologists, a woman named Sarah, was particularly fascinated by the god. She had studied Egyptian mythology extensively and was intrigued by the role that Anubis played in the afterlife. As she examined one of the wall paintings depicting Anubis, Sarah suddenly felt a strange sensation. It was as if someone was watching her, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being followed. The sensation continued throughout the day, and Sarah began to feel increasingly uneasy. That night, she had a vivid dream in which Anubis appeared to her. He was standing at the entrance to the tomb, his jackal head looming over her. Sarah was terrified, but she couldn't look away from the god's piercing eyes. Anubis spoke to her in a voice that was both commanding and soothing. "Do not be afraid," he said. "I am here to guide you." Sarah woke up in a cold sweat, but she felt strangely comforted by the dream. She decided to continue her research on Anubis, and soon discovered that he was often invoked by ancient Egyptians as a protector and guide in the afterlife. Over time, Sarah came to believe that Anubis had been watching over her during her excavation of the tomb. She felt grateful for his presence and began to see him as a benevolent force rather than a frightening one. Years later, Sarah returned to Egypt to visit the tomb once again. As she stood in the burial chamber, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that Anubis was still watching over her, and that he would continue to guide her through life and into the afterlife.